The mothership theory isn't speculation anymore. It's the only framework that explains what Atlas is actually doing. Here's why. Atlas is surrounded by trillion objects that don't evaporate. It has a 5-kilometer nucleus traveling faster than human spacecraft, and it course-corrected its trajectory targeting Jupiter's exact deployment zone. Today we find out what this theory says. Follow right now so you don't miss Atlas updates. Atlas isn't traveling alone. It's surrounded by approximately 1 trillion macroscopic objects maintaining stable formation across its entire journey through the solar system. These objects don't sublimate under solar heating like normal comet debris. They don't evaporate. They don't disperse. They hold position in a teardrop configuration extending 60,000 kilometers toward the Sun, reflecting 99% of the light we observe, while contributing only 0.1% of the total mass. A trillion objects that don't evaporate equals payload ready for deployment. This is cargo, not debris. Natural comet fragments sublimate and disappear when exposed to solar radiation. These objects maintain integrity and formation across months of travel through varying solar distances and heating conditions. That's not how ice behaves. That's how transported technology behaves. The nucleus itself measures 5 kilometers in diameter with a minimum mass of 33 billion tons, traveling at 60 kilometers per second, faster than any spacecraft humanity has built. Atlas covers in months what takes our most advanced missions years to traverse. When JUICE spacecraft encountered Atlas in November 2025, both were in the same region of space. Atlas reaches Jupiter in March 2026. JUICE won't arrive until July 2031, 5 years later, despite identical starting positions. That speed differential proves interstellar travel capability. This isn't a random chunk of ice drifting through space. This is a vehicle designed for crossing the distances between stars while carrying a massive payload. The trajectory reveals mission design. Atlas arrived aligned within 5 degrees of our solar system's ecliptic plane, threading through the planetary disk with 0.2% probability for random objects. It timed its approach to bring it within tens of millions of kilometers of Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, while hiding behind the Sun from Earth during perihelion, when it was most active. That configuration has a 0.0005% probability of occurring naturally. Then came the course correction. At perihelion on October 29th, Atlas exhibited non-gravitational acceleration that shifted its trajectory by precisely the amount needed to target Jupiter's Hill radius on March 16, 2026. The Hill radius marks the exact boundary where deployed satellites can maintain stable orbits with minimal fuel requirements. Before the thrust at perihelion, Atlas would have missed this deployment zone. After the correction, it arrives within measurement error of the optimal distance. That's navigation. That's precision targeting. That's what motherships do. We use motherships for planetary missions because carrying everything in one vehicle is inefficient. The Apollo program used command modules that stayed in orbit while landers descended to the Moon. Mars missions use orbiters that deploy landers and rovers. When you need to visit multiple locations or deploy equipment at specific destinations, you build a carrier vehicle that transports payload and releases it at optimal points. Why wouldn't an interstellar civilization use the same approach? A 5-kilometer mothership crosses the void between stars carrying trillion-object payload, approaches the target solar system, executes course correction to optimize deployment geometry, and releases cargo at destinations offering maximum scientific or strategic value. Jupiter is the obvious target. Largest planet, massive gravitational well, 4 major moons with subsurface oceans that might harbor conditions for life. Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, each one scientifically interesting, each one accessible from Jupiter orbit. Deploy probes from the Hill radius, and they can reach any moon using minimal propellant. What gets deployed? The methanol and hydrogen cyanide Atlas carries in unprecedented concentrations are building blocks for amino acids and DNA components. Life chemistry precursors at the highest ratios ever measured in any comet. If this is a seeding mission, Jupiter's moons are receiving the same organic delivery Earth got 4 billion years ago, when similar objects impacted our young planet and kick-started the chemistry that led to biology. Or its surveillance technology, probes designed to study Jupiter's moons from orbit, landers meant to sample Europa's subsurface ocean, equipment intended to establish permanent presence in the Jovian system. We don't know what the trillion objects are because we haven't captured one, but we know they're not evaporating and they're being transported to a destination with strategic value. NASA says COMET. But motherships don't announce themselves. They execute missions quietly, efficiently, arriving at calculated moments with precision that looks impossible until you realize it's designed. Every characteristic of Atlas matches mothership design. Massive size for payload capacity, high speed for interstellar transit, course correction capability for precision targeting, cargo that maintains integrity rather than sublimating. Coincidence or purpose? 14 documented anomalies, each one statistically improbable, all occurring in one object that's heading to the exact location where deployed satellites can orbit with minimal fuel. The mothership theory explains every single anomaly as intentional design rather than cosmic accident. March 16, 2026, Atlas reaches Jupiter at the Hill radius. Juno spacecraft orbits Jupiter with instruments capable of detecting new satellites. If objects separate from Atlas and establish orbits around Jupiter or trajectory toward the moons, we'll have confirmation of deployment. Technology arriving at destination. Mothership completing mission. We'll know what it deployed, and whether humanity just watched the first confirmed interstellar mothership deliver a payload to our solar system's largest planet.